Some stories on Reddit are wild. Others feel personal in ways you don't expect. This one? It started with a twin sister asking for a favor and ended in something no one could have predicted. Here's a real post shared by a woman who never thought she'd end up the villain in her own sister's eyes just for saying no. She begins, "My sister thinks I owe her a baby because we're twins. Let me start by saying, this isn't something I usually do. I'm not a regular Reddit user. I'm using my friend's spare account because she said this was the best way to get neutral advice. So here goes. I'm Renee, 30, and I have an identical twin sister. Let's call her Nina. Our mom passed away during childbirth, and it's just been the two of us with our dad ever since. Nina's been married to Ethan for 8 years. I've been dating my boyfriend, Tyler, for 3. From the time we were little, Nina dreamed of becoming a mom. She was always drawing wedding dresses, baby names, decorating pretend nurseries. I, on the other hand, was more into books, travel, and my own freedom. These days I work in corporate travel planning, and I'm also writing a book I hope to publish. Nina's never had a job, not once. We both went straight to college after high school, but once she met Ethan, she became a full-time girlfriend, then wife. That's been her whole focus, marriage and motherhood. For the last few years, Nina and Ethan have been trying to get pregnant. No success. She had 1 miscarriage early on, and since then, they've poured thousands into fertility treatments, multiple rounds of IVF, procedures, you name it, still nothing. Now they're looking into other options, but Nina is fixated on one thing. She wants a child that shares both her and Ethan's DNA. Adoption's not on the table for her. Her words, not mine. About 3 weeks ago, she came over to my place. We were just hanging out, watching Modern Family, when she suddenly got really serious. She said she had a big question to ask me and needed to get it out before she lost her nerve. Then she asked if I'd be her surrogate. I froze. I asked what she meant exactly, though of course I knew. She said it straight. She wanted me to carry her baby. I told her I've never wanted kids. Never have. Probably never will. Honestly, maybe it's tied to how we lost our mom, but the idea of being pregnant has always made me uneasy. I offered to donate my eggs, however many she wanted, but I couldn't go through with carrying a child. She snapped, red in the face, yelling that I was selfish and jealous. She said I was hateful and that it wasn't a big ask, that it was a small thing I could do. I didn't even bring up the fact that she's always said she wants 4 or more kids. Was I supposed to be her surrogate every single time? She stormed out after smashing a framed photo of the two of us that I had on the mantle. Since then, she's only texted me photos of her old diary entries and childhood vision boards, like I'm single-handedly crushing her dream of having a family. Tyler won't give me any input. He says it's my sister, my body, and he doesn't want to sway me. I get it, but I feel so alone in this. This is the longest we've gone without speaking. And honestly, I'm starting to feel guilty. I keep asking myself, did I let her down? There are a few things I think people should know to understand the full picture. First, money isn't the issue. After our mom passed away due to hospital negligence, our dad won a lawsuit. Both Nina and I have trusts set aside from that. Her husband Ethan also earns a good income. So paying for a surrogate, or even covering any medical procedures, is not the problem. This really comes down to the fact that I do not want to be pregnant. Second, Nina can't carry the baby herself because years ago, we were in a really bad car accident. She was in the front seat with our dad and took most of the damage. That's when she lost her pregnancy. Since then, her body hasn't recovered enough to carry again. Even egg retrieval has become complicated for her. She does not like talking about the specifics, so I only know what she has shared. And third, I only just found this out thanks to people online. Apparently, a lot of doctors won't approve someone to be a surrogate if they've never had a child before. I haven't. So even if I wanted to go through with this, I might not be eligible at all. We're all supposed to have dinner this Thursday. It's football night with our dad and partners. If she shows up, I might bring this up. But I'm bracing myself. Update. I wasn't planning to post again, but so much has happened, and writing this out gives me a weird kind of relief. A few people warned me to be cautious around my brother-in-law, Ethan. I didn't take it seriously. That was a mistake. The day after he called me a terrible name, Nina actually called me. I missed it because I was in the shower. I called back. No answer. That night, we all went to my dad's house to watch the game like usual. Just as kickoff started, Nina walked in and asked my dad to step outside and talk to Ethan. My dad refused. He told her Ethan could either wait for a break or come inside and apologize like a man. Nina tried to defend him, bringing up some unrelated situation to make it seem like things were being blown out of proportion. My dad lost it. He said he didn't raise her to shrink herself for a man, and that if she thought Ethan's behavior was acceptable, then maybe he failed as a father. She didn't say anything, just stood there with tears in her eyes before turning and leaving. After the game, I went to my car and found 2 flat tires and a shattered passenger side window. My dad towed my car to his garage and told me to use his truck. He even offered for me to stay over, but I said no. I tried to contact Nina. No answer. I sent her a long message instead. I won't share all of it here, but one thing I said was, "Loving someone shouldn't mean breaking the people who love you." Her reply, "That's the problem. My family's already broken. You're just not helping me fix it." I tried to call her again. Still nothing. Later that week, I noticed a car trailing mine. The next day, it was a different one. It wasn't paranoia. I'd take random turns or drive toward the police station, and the car would peel off the moment it got close. One weekend, I went out to brunch with friends to talk bridal shower planning. A waiter came up and said, "Your husband is at the front. Says it's urgent." I assumed she meant my boyfriend Tyler. Nope, it was Ethan. I kept calm, told him to leave. He said he wanted to apologize, that things had gotten out of hand. We stepped outside to talk. He apologized for what he said, claimed he didn't mean it. Then he started venting about how hard all of this was for him. I stopped him there, told him his pain didn't excuse him threatening or following me, or being toxic to my sister. He tried to play the victim, then asked me, again, to reconsider being their surrogate. When I turned to leave, he grabbed at my stomach. I stepped back and warned him. I said we could talk later with my dad present, or I'd involve the police. As I turned to go, he yanked my hair. Hard. Screamed, "Don't you dare walk away from me!" The rest is a blur. People stepped in. He ran before the cops got there. I filed a report. 2 days later, he showed up at the airport while I was working, told security he was my husband and there was an emergency. Same trick as at the restaurant. He refused to leave. They arrested him. He was bailed out not long after. Since then, he's been sending me vile, threatening texts. Some say things like how he'll make sure I get pregnant, how I'll be stuck with him, how we'll both die before he gives up. It's disturbing. I've blocked his number, but he keeps using text apps. The police say it's hard to prove it's him without concrete evidence. So unless he does something again, there's not much they can do. I've basically moved into Tyler's apartment now. My dad added cameras and motion lights to my house, but I don't feel safe going back. Nina hasn't responded to anything. I've been forwarding her the threatening texts. My dad asked me to stop, saying it's wearing her down. I told him I couldn't believe she defended Ethan after everything. She needs to know what he's doing. I feel exhausted, like I'm in someone else's nightmare. Tyler hasn't complained, but I know I'm changing his life too. He's been driving me to work, cutting gym time, adjusting his whole routine to help keep me safe. I'm thankful, but I also feel like a burden. We even argued the other night over the thermostat. Something stupid, but I think we're both just stretched thin. I feel like my life is unraveling, and I'm scared I'm not strong enough to pull it back together. Update. This whole situation has been a roller coaster. I never expected to find comfort from strangers online, but here I am, grateful. I'll keep this part brief, or try to. So, remember how I said I felt like I was intruding on Tyler's life? I wasn't wrong. He found out I was looking into short-term apartment rentals. I didn't want to burden him anymore. When he asked me why, I told him I thought he wanted his space back. His response? He proposed. I'm engaged. I still can't believe it. Now I feel a whole lot better about taking over his apartment. Anyway, back to the chaos. I posted in a different thread about Ethan getting more aggressive. It got worse. He confronted me at the grocery store. I froze. Couldn't even stand up for myself the way I should have. Definitely not my proudest moment. Then, when I wasn't home, he broke into my place, trashed some of my things, especially stuff he knew I cared about. My favorite mugs, the espresso machine I saved up for. It was personal. Cameras were installed afterward. I've taken a leave from work and haven't gone back home since. Out of nowhere, Nina finally called me. I thought something happened to our dad from how she was crying. But no, she had followed Ethan. She knew he'd been tailing me. She had gone to the police herself. They said they were dispatching someone to talk to me, which is why she reached out. We stayed on the phone for 5 hours. She said something had finally clicked after the hair-pulling incident, that she went full detective and started documenting everything. She admitted she put too much pressure on me, that deep down she had been stunned I told her no. She even said the whole DNA obsession wasn't hers, it was Ethan's. She just wanted her family back. She's now staying with me until the divorce is finalized. It's temporary, but I hope she really follows through. The prenup should help, but who knows? Ethan isn't exactly stable. Side note, my dad let it slip that Nina had solid proof Ethan was the one who broke into my house. She didn't tell me right away, said she needed time to figure out the right thing to do. My dad told her she didn't have a choice. Apparently she agreed pretty quickly, like she just needed someone to push her. I'm still not sure how I feel about that. The day after Nina told the police everything, 2 plainclothes officers came to talk to me. They said they'd assign someone to tail me for a day. If Ethan showed up or followed me, they'd arrest him immediately. They didn't tell me who the officer was or what car to look out for, just said not to panic if I felt watched. He was arrested within 2 hours. Tyler and I went on a date that night, and as we pulled into our third stop, Ethan's car was pulled over and he was taken into custody. I drank too many margaritas afterward. I'm not proud of that part. But it was a long time coming. A detective told me to expect a call from the district attorney's office. Hopefully that leads somewhere. I'm not optimistic, but I do hope they find proof on his phone. If those messages can be traced to him, maybe he'll finally face consequences. People suggested I get a gun. I can't. I've been terrified of them ever since a kid from my school accidentally shot himself at home. I know it wasn't at school, but still, it stuck with me. Instead, I got bear spray and a knife. I'm not thrilled, but it makes me feel a little safer. I just finished my first day back at work, organizing travel schedules and coordinating itineraries again. It felt good to get back into a routine. For a moment, things felt normal. We watched football as a family this weekend. Me, my dad, Nina, and my fiancé. That felt even better. I truly hope this is the last time I have to talk about any of this.